All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Planet Film Network. I am one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
And I'm your other host, TJ Cornwell, and welcome back to Planet Film Live. Tonight, we're going to be going over Oscars from this past weekend on Sunday. The season finale premiered Sunday as well, so we're going to talk that. And then we're going to give our review of Creed 3 as well, which we saw Saturday.
Yes, yeah. All right.
So where do you want to start?
I had the feed up. I heard all the audio levels. We should be good to go, but please let us know if there's anything we missed or anything. I don't know. I know we got to go see Creed over the weekend. I know we tried to go last weekend, so that was good. Even though I know I've talked many times before, if we got 5 people in here, shout out, give a like and a share wouldn't hurt, and then stay for a couple minutes if you like it, subscribe. I work at a movie theater, but I really don't get out to the movies that much lately anymore. I don't really know why. I think it's just a time thing or whatever it might be, but or lack of interest when it comes to Shazam, which I'm not hating on. It doesn't feel like it comes out in 2 days.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm with you on that.
Like for sure. So that was good to get out there, but also I think I talked about last week that I started playing The Last of Us on the remaster. Yeah. So I've gotten much farther in that. I basically, because I stopped before the finale, or what I wanted to stop before the finale. So I stopped right after the David stuff. So right after Joel finds Ellie, is when I basically stopped. It is fantastic. I mean, it's everything that everybody has said and you've said, and then everything like that. It's exactly as good, if not better, than it's described. And that's saying something. Even though it's a remaster version, it's not like it's a full remake. So it's like on the old, PlayStation structure and everything, that it's still that good is fantastic.
Where you're playing, I would say you're playing the remaster for PS4, correct?
Yeah, because I don't. Okay, I'm assuming there's one for PS5.
The PS5 one, that's a remake.
That's like a full remake.
They built it back up, basically. Yeah. I understand.
I might honestly one day, maybe I will get that version too. But luckily I do already have. I already own both of them. So I own 2.
Okay.
Because I think you and I were doing the game share thing or whatever we were doing for me to get it, and then we stopped doing that or something changed with it, and I was like, well, I'm definitely gonna play these, so I bought them both. Like when I just had the extra money to do it, and then I just never got around to finishing playing them. But now I'm definitely going to launch right into 2. So that's been consuming a lot of my time. But I have seen a few things. What have I watched? Oh, yeah. So I finished my Oscar needs, basically. So I watched Women Talking, and then I watched Triangle of Sadness, and then on Oscar Sunday, the same day that... Or not. Oh, no, that wasn't Sunday. Was it? Oh yeah, we saw Creed on Sunday, not Saturday. That's why my days are all.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So on Oscar Sunday, while we watched Creed, I watched All Quiet on the Western Front. After that, which was fantastic. I think that All Quiet on the Western Front. I'm super happy with what it won. I'm happy that it was like the second most awarded movie, but we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Another nominee, Triangle of Sadness, I thought was good. Well, actually, we both saw it. So I know we've both kind of talked about how we liked it, but kind of just didn't understand why it was nominated. But what were kind of your overall thoughts on the movie?
Yeah, I mean, I got what it was saying and everything. The rich people, obviously big assholes, and starts to take a turn for the worst, and they get stranded on the island, that whole bit. And there are some funny parts. There are some really gross parts with all the vomit. That was kind of gross.
Yeah.
But I never really felt like I was never at any point oh my god, this is just
a best
something
picture.
Brand new I've never seen. It was nothing. There's nothing that I think validated and made it be a best picture at any point. And I'm not really surprised it didn't win. I mean, we'll talk about the Oscars a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I thought it was good. I just wasn't like blown away or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think I agree with what you said and what a lot of people are saying about it. Like once I had seen it, then checking in like online to see what people are saying about it. It was a lot of the same stuff that you and I both said, that just we get it. Like, it's the rich. Hey guys, I think the rich might be bad people. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that before, and that's not to say that it's not going to work. It's just I feel like we've had a lot of that this year in particular, and I think for me, I don't know about you, but for me, The Menu to me did it way better and more effectively than this movie did.
Mm-hmm.
And I know The Menu was a movie that people were like, well, yeah, it's kind of maybe like an Oscar baity long chance thing, but then it became a box office success, and it kind of became a kind of menu following onto its own of just actual fans of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So then when Triangle of Sadness got nominated, I was like, well, isn't that just about the rich, basically? Like, why should that one be? So I was watching and expecting it not only to be like good, but to be even better than something like The Menu, like something that would, because everybody was like, well, The Menu's not really the kind of movie you nominate. I would nominate The Menu in that Best Picture slot over Triangle of Sadness, no question.
Mm-hmm.
Just because The Menu has a higher budget actually, no way, never mind. The Menu definitely, there's no way The Menu has a higher budget, unless salaries maybe. But like I said, just because The Menu might have like a bigger cast and like a bigger like names attached to it, that's what the word I was looking for, it shouldn't be punished. It's kind of that whole thing, like what everybody's talking about, and like with Jamie Lee Curtis, like how they don't really look at genre in the Academy and everything. But yeah, I guess Triangle of Sadness, at the end of the day, in terms of just a movie, I think I gave it 3.5, like, or 4 stars, because it's just a really well made, like, it looks great and everything like that. But in terms of watching it as like, this is what the Academy is holding up as the 10 best pictures of the year, I wouldn't agree with that. But what's some stuff that you've been watching?
I haven't watched much, so I watched that obviously. Watching a decent amount of Naruto, as well as I caught up on My Hero, but that was last week. And the other movie I watched, other than Creed 3, was Ponyo, which I had never seen. I was just in a studio, Ghibli. I'm not sure which one it is.
I would say, what do I say? Studio Ghibli is what I say.
Ghibli, okay,
yeah.
In the mood for that one, and that's one that I don't think I knew that it was Studio Ghibli. I thought it was like I don't know what studio I thought it was, but I don't know. It almost seemed, I don't know, from the poster, I just didn't. I don't know. I didn't get that vibe. But watched that Saturday night. Really, really enjoyed it. Really nice story. Didn't realize how many, people are in it. I never realized how many just big actors are in all those movies. Like this one had Matt Damon, I think Kate Blanchett was in this one as well.
And then isn't there one? Is it Howl's Moving Castle that isn't Christian Bale the lead in one of them?
Yeah, he's in that one, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
But overall, I had a really fun time with it. I've only seen Liam Neeson.
There you go.
I've only seen Totoro, this, and Spirited Away. And Totoro is my favorite, honestly. I don't know why. It's just like I just love that little creature. He's just so cute.
See, I've never seen Totoro. There is. I'll let you know. Yeah. We just got a new standee in. So this is
I see
nationwide. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, good. Okay, yeah. I don't know if you saw the one on there, the live action one. Did you see that?
No.
We might have to go to that. That might have to be something we go to. They are doing, I think it's week 3. For those who don't know, because it's not spoiler, it's not going to spoil my individual theater because it's a nationwide Fathom series. I believe it is starting first week of April, and then running through September. Every single week they're gonna show the entire catalog, except I think just the most recent movie, I believe is not on there. But in there, slotted in that place, or not the chronological place, but slotted in the extra space, they are doing a live action, so like stage play that they'll show in the Fathom theaters and everything of Spirited Away. So a live action stage version of it. Yeah. So that might have to be something. Maybe we'll look up a clip of it and see if it's any good or as interesting as it sounds. But yeah, I think, and then of course, because it's the most popular, they're ending with Spirited Away, so that's not going to be until like August or September or something.
Right.
But yeah, so if you're a big Studio Ghibli fan, look out, because almost for the entire rest of the year, or the next like really 6 months, they're going to be playing a lot in the movie theaters near you. All right, let's see here. Is there any news that we want to talk about? Did anything like happen this week?
Not much. There was that report of Quentin Tarantino's new movie.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I think it was THR.
Oh my god, I did not see that at all. Oh, here's something we could. Yeah. Did you watch that new Little Mermaid trailer?
I did. I mean, the one during the Oscars. Yep.
What did you think of that?
I mean, I thought it was fine. I don't know. Disney doesn't have the best track record with live action remakes, so I'll be interested to see how it does. I haven't seen Lion King. I know people were like, "That's shot for shot remake that has no emotion." Apparently, I saw Beauty and the Beast. I thought it was fine.
Beauty and the Beast, to me, I've seen all the. Actually, I have not seen Cinderella. That's like the one that keeps escaping me. But
I haven't seen Cinderella either.
I'll say, out of all of them, I think Beauty and the Beast is the best one. And then second would be Aladdin, and then I would put all the rest of them.
Jungle Book? People love Jungle Book.
See, Jungle Book is really great. I might have to revisit that, but I would say easily the top 3 is Beauty and the Beast, the Aladdin, and then Jungle Book for sure. Because you know what those 3 have in common is literally all 3 of those have this, and all the other ones don't. I guess Maleficent's just not for me, but if you want to consider those live action remakes, even though they're kind of more like prequel movies, but those 3, what they have is they're great remakes, but they also have new things in them, like new things interjected into them. Like Aladdin has new sequences, it has new subplots with Jasmine, and gives her more development. It doesn't cut out things and then add a second monkey to be a sidekick. It added, character development for Jasmine, who really in the first one doesn't have much. And same with Jungle Book. It added extra stuff that actually made you care more about the characters. But this one just does not look to be in that category. And the actual look of the trailer, too, I thought, at least while I was watching it on TV, which is how all of America saw it, well, all of the world saw it, is it didn't look great. I'll say it. To my eye, the CGI looked, Javier Bardem in particular, and like when the glowing like neon tentacles were on there, it just did not look good.
Yeah, I'll be completely honest. Watching on YouTube TV already doesn't have the best bit rate, I don't think. So watching the trailer on there made it even worse. Yeah. So it did not look great for me, but I haven't gone back and watched it on my computer or anything.
Yeah,
but
that is what I watched on too. So maybe that's the culprit.
Yeah. So just real quick, pulling from THR.
Absolutely.
So Quentin Tarantino, exclusive for THR. New film, last movie he's making that he said multiple times he's only making 10. We'll see. I know you Star Trek people really want him to make that Star Trek movie.
What the fuck, Spock? You're right, Captain.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
So THR says The Movie Critic is the name of the script that Tarantino wrote and is prepping to direct this fall, according to sources. Logline details are being kept in a suitcase, but sources describe the story as being set in late 1970s Los Angeles with a female lead at its center. And then they go on to say, it is possibly the story focuses on Pauline Kael, one of the most influential movie critics of all time. So, what do you think about this? Does this get you excited?
I am very excited for it. This is like you're genuinely dropping a bomb on me.
This is only like, I think it only was reported like half an hour.
I was driving home from work when this dropped, and then hadn't looked at Twitter since. Wow, yeah, I mean, you know, I've talked about it on here. I just finished reading his newest book, Cinema Speculations, which was really good. When he does the voiceover on Audible, it's really something. I was gonna say funny, but not quite. Okay. He does it on some chapters and then some lines, but I won't spoil how it's mixed up. But it's a very unique Audible listen or read. But I just did that, and then also, I don't know if you're caught up with it right now, but the Cinephiles, who's a great podcast that we have shouted out a couple times, with Steve Morris and John Roca, they're doing, every year they like pick a new director to focus on for the first part of the year, and they are doing Quentin Tarantino right now. So I've been like super steeped in all of his movies without actually watching them, like for the last 2 or 3 weeks, like super heavy focused on it, because they just did Reservoir Dogs, then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and now they're on, I think, part 1 of Django Unchained. So I actually think I might watch Django after this. This is huge. This is awesome. When you said it, I almost thought you were joking, or I thought it was gonna be like a update on the Star Trek thing. But this is awesome. So the movie critic said in 1970s Los Angeles. That's interesting. I think I'm not familiar. Who was the name of the critic?
Pauline Kael.
I'm not familiar with her.
Story focuses on her.
Yeah, I know that she is definitely mentioned in his book. And it definitely the Cinephile. I should also say if you just go back to the Cinephiles history, I think it's the first podcast of 2023. They did like a 3-hour show on Quentin Tarantino, like just on him as a person. And I'll admit, a lot of it was retread of info from the book, but a lot of it wasn't also, and they had guests on, and they definitely talked about her influence on him. And they definitely talked about her influence and his influence of seeing cinema at that time in 1970s Los Angeles. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to be, maybe, if it really is his last movie, if this is going to be his most like personal film yet. Because he'll make a movie about something, but then it's really about something else. You know what I mean? Like Inglourious Basterds is about killing Hitler, but it's really about the persecution of Jewish people and Jews during that time and everything like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it's about a movie critic, but if somehow it's really about his kind of coming up in the world of cinema during that time. But it definitely sounds super interesting. But how do you kind of feel about this being his last movie? How do you feel? What are just your general Tarantino thoughts and connection?
Yeah, no, like you, I've been listening to that podcast. I haven't listened to like those most recent episodes, but I did listen to that like 3-hour one that they did a few weeks back. It is really interesting to listen to. I still haven't seen all his movies. I was going to do that. I think at one point I was going to do like a whole ranking type thing, and then I just didn't get to it.
What are you missing?
I pretty much. What?
What are you missing?
I'm missing. Oh my God, Hateful Eight,
Death Proof, Hateful Eight, and
Death
Jackie
Proof.
Brown.
And no, I've seen Jackie Brown. There's what's that one that he did with Robert Rodriguez? Did he partially direct that?
That's Death Proof.
Oh, I thought there was another one.
I mean, it's like the weird double feature thing. Grindhouse.
Right.
That's Grindhouse. That's so that as well. I'm missing.
So I think I'm missing just those two, I believe. And I have Death Proof too. I just never watched it. Oh, Kill Bill Volume 2. That's the other one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's good. That's you've been living with that cliffhanger for a really long time, haven't you?
Yeah,
wow.
I definitely have to go back and watch the first one, because like I don't remember like what
That's
where
like
we're at.
That's like if a kid was like watched all the Harry Potter movies with their parent as a kid and then stopped at Deathly Hallows Part 1. And then they were just like, "Man, yeah, those movies were great. I can't wait for them to find out what happens to Voldemort." Like they just don't. Yeah. They were like, "What do you mean? I watched Deathly Hallows." Like they just don't know the second one exists.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see if he kind of sticks with the whole 10 movie thing. I mean, I kind of think that maybe at some point he'll want to direct, something else after he does this. But at the same time, he seems like somebody who, when he says something, he just kind of sticks to it, and then won't, doesn't really budge. But that doesn't mean he can't direct. I thought there was some. Wasn't there like I feel like it was a few months ago. There was reportedly like this show that he was writing or something, and he was going to direct a few episodes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think that
what it was called.
I think it was supposed to be maybe for Showtime, so maybe it got janked around with the Paramount thing.
On his IMDb, there's listed a Bounty Law series, which would be like a kind of spin-off type thing of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Father, Son, House of Gucci. I hope so.
I don't know if that's actually a thing still. So I think he'll probably still be around after he does all the movies and stuff, but maybe he just doesn't do another movie. But I'm really looking forward to it. Like you said, I think this could be, probably his most personal thing that he's written. Just because it's, when you think of Quentin Tarantino, other than directing everything, what do you think? What does he love the most? And he loves movies. Yeah. And he grew up working in that video store and giving out recommendations, all that stuff. So yeah, this seems like the perfect way to end kind of his career directing, I guess.
Now, the last thing I will ask you about this great news, do we get a cameo from Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth?
I don't think so.
Damn. He's got to bring it all together and confirm the theory that they're all in the same.
They're all
universe.
Connected. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So all right, let's talk a little. Let's talk a little.
Chris.
Adonis Creed action.
Oh, okay. We could do Creed. Yep.
All right. So, what'd you think? We went and saw Creed 3 finally. Well, what'd you think? What was the story about? What was this movie about? Tell the people.
Well, do you want to start first, just because I'm trying to type out this tweet real quick?
Oh yeah, you're good. So I'll throw it back to myself. What is the story of this third one? It's Adonis Creed. You know him. He's Rocky's god nephew, step uncle thing. Illegitimate son of Apollo Creed. This movie comes up. Somebody from his past. He's retired. He's no longer the champ. He gave it up years ago. He's been a family man this whole time. Someone from his past, played by Jonathan Majors, comes up to him. He goes, I've been in the slammer for 18 years because of what happened with the two of us. I'm just looking for a shot, man. I'm just looking for a shot. And he's like, he tries to give him money, not in a mean way, but he tries to give him money, and he goes, I don't need money, man. I'm just looking for a shot. So he invites him to the gym, and then, will he get the shot? That is the question. And then Rocky movie stuff happens, cliche stuff, and then they have to fight at the end. That's basically what this movie is about. With also great performances, I'll say, from, I guess I'll just segue into some of the things I thought with before we get into spoilers here. Or I guess we could probably do this without spoilers, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
We could even talk about the end fight, because obviously there's an end fight. Maybe we'll just leave out who wins, because it doesn't always happen that way in the Rocky movies. But with also excellent supporting performances by Tessa Thompson and oh my god, I just had her name, Felicia Rashad, as his mother, as the wife of the late Apollo Creed, who really gets some great moments in this movie, but so is just Tessa Thompson, as I said. And then I'd love to get your thoughts on, for me, I'll say the lack of Rocky, I think, was okay, in the sense of, I think this movie really proved that, this franchise is ready to stand on its own. And, it's not like it's not like you were like, where is Rocky to move this story forward? I was like, and I'm sure you probably know the scene I'm talking about, in a pretty important scene to everyone in the movie, it's like, he would have been there. Even by extension of that, even with everything that goes on in this movie with the villain, he would have been there by Donnie's side. And I get that it's like, he's taking care of his grandkids and stuff, and he's back in Philly, he's whatever. But like, he would have gotten on a plane and he would have been by his side to go through that, especially after everything that happens. But other than that, I think the movie really, like I said, proved that it can stand on its own. It does not need Rocky to be in the movie. But also, I mean, Jonathan Majors is just insane in this movie. But I do not want to leave out Michael B. Jordan. I feel like nobody's talking about Michael B. Jordan in this movie. And I think it was maybe his best performance as Creed. I still feel like nothing has matched the chemistry of him and Rocky together. I think that is just like a great dynamic, but solo performance wise, I think this is his best performance as Adonis Creed. And also, he directed the movie, and I feel like nobody's talking about it. And he was so good, and the fact that he was so good on camera and off camera, and I think he even has a story by credit in this movie. I don't think he wrote it, but I think he has a story credit on it. So this is truly a passion project of his, and you could tell, and I'm sure we'll talk about some of the stylistic stuff too, that was very interesting and new to this franchise. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. Probably in my, I don't know, maybe definitely, I would say definitely top 5 of the Rocky movies for sure. Maybe top 3, but how did you feel?
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed myself. I had a great time with it. As you said, Michael B. Jordan, Jonathan Majors, amazing in the movie. I really enjoyed all the boxing scenes. I thought that was great. I had a good time with the story. Having this friend who, well, actually, first of all, I completely forgot, because I haven't seen Creed 1 or 2 since they came out. I forgot he was adopted. So I was a little thrown off there. I was
I watching the movie, I didn't forget that, but watching the movie, I was like, I was like, this movie's probably not doing a great job enough of emphasizing that point.
Let me catch you back up, kind of like, hey, remember,
exactly,
maybe if there was like a little like, hey, I'm, Adonis Creed, and, I grew up this, that,
Do you think we can do one bit of spoil?
Yeah, let me get through what I was.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
These thoughts first, though. They were both great in the movie. I thought all those scenes were great. I thought the final fight was awesome. All those references that I pointed, or not all of them, the 2 references that I understood and that I had seen on Twitter already that were awesome to experience in the theater. Yeah. There's some, kind of funny, goofy things, I guess, going on. Maybe during it, like, for example, I think maybe like the whole first take thing was a little goofy. Stephen A. Smith doing this like random interview, and he's like, "Oh, we got a phone call, and we got Jonathan Majors calling into the show." That was a little goofy. But overall, I had a really good time with it. I haven't seen Creed 1 or 2 in a long time, so I couldn't like rank them if I wanted to, like. But just going off, this would probably be. I'd probably have to say this is my favorite, but I could most definitely change that when I rewatch 1 and 2, which I probably will at some point. Yeah, I had a good time. I thought that was fun. It definitely it got me too in a few emotional parts too.
For sure, absolutely. When a big emotional thing happens, it really almost got me. But then also just a couple of times throughout, it's just so emotional. Which
sorry, real quick. Yeah. I just speaking on the whole Rocky thing. I personally didn't really feel that void at all. He's mentioned 1 or 2 times, I think, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just because I just don't. I've seen think I've seen like 1, 2. I think I've seen 1 through 4. And I just don't have a connection to those movies in that way where it's like I'm looking for, where's Rocky? Where's he gonna show up?
If you rewatch Rocky 1 and then go right into Rocky Balboa, which you haven't seen, those two are like, his grown-up son who played the guy from This Is Us. He is those two movies, like, to quote George Lucas, it's like poetry, they rhyme. Like, those two, you could skip all the middle, and to get all, like, the emotional development and attachment to Rocky, I think you can get it in just those two. And then those two, and then Creed, I think, make an excellent trilogy, like, about just a sad man in life.
Yeah. But what spoil things you want to talk about?
So I think, I'm thinking about it, I think we can get around it. I'll just say it's just about Jonathan Majors' character kind of arc. You know what? Maybe Michelle in the chat says, "Happy birthday, Paulie." Of course, the robots from Rocky 4 famously said. Happy birthday, Paulie. So, all right, I'm going to spoil one thing. It's going to be 4 seconds so that TJ will know. So, waving my hand, going into spoilers. What he does to Drago in this movie, what he sets up, I feel like that could have been better established. That turn to that level of being the villain of this movie, I was like, I just could have used it set up a little bit more. And I was talking with my friend Dorian at work, and I think I figured out what I would have done, if I could have made Creed 3, as if, But, one thing I had an idea for was, if we just have one flashback scene to Dame in prison, kind of giving up on Donnie.
Yeah.
That, I think, would have helped a lot, because then if you see him giving up on him in prison, you know that when he's being super buddy-buddy at the restaurant, it's kind of a facade. Which, in the movie, you don't really get that, he's already mad at Adonis. He's just keeping it, like, buried deep down. You don't really get that, I feel like, until he, all of a sudden, they're arguing on the beach. Do you agree with that, or do you see where I'm coming from on that?
Yeah, I mean,
That's really
I think
the only thing I have.
I think I was able to feel that, clearly because that he obviously is the antagonist of this movie.
Yeah.
Because he, that's just how it's set up from the trailers and everything. That he's coming to take everything.
I'm coming for everything.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I thought Jonathan Majors did a good job of, like, kind of playing it as infiltrating the family and all that, and saying, like, hey, like, can you help me out? Like, not even actually, I guess, saying, can you help me out, but, like, Michael B. Jordan lending that hand to be like, oh, hey, yeah, you come over to the gym, throw some punches, we can let you spar a little bit, and kind of maneuvering himself in there, and then kind of revealing himself very quickly to Michael. I thought Jonathan Majors did a good job with that. So I never felt that it was kind of like it needed more. I was satisfied with how we got there, I guess.
Yeah, that's totally fair, because I feel like I said, I feel like that is the only thing that I can even, like, pick my brain and be like, that's maybe the thing I would change. Like, that's it. So, spoilers over, no more spoilers. Yeah, like you said, I think just to close out, I think Jonathan Majors was incredible in the movie. And I really, I guess the last thing we can talk about, no spoilery, is how'd you feel about, like, the stylistic stuff in the end fight, with just some of the imagery they used and some of the, like, anime influences with, the really kind of, like, shots and cinematography of the end fight.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I think so. Real quick, just one thing, just as far as that goes. So
yeah,
it's not a spoiler, but we kind of go into his head a little bit during those sequences, in the final fight, and the one thing I guess you could probably critique is that we go from round 1 to round 12. in a matter
like
of 5 minutes, which
yeah.
is a little jarring, I guess. But what they put into that little gap to get there, I really liked. Like you said, I pointed out to you. I was like, oh, there's that reference. There's the other one.
Yeah.
And I thought they were really well done. It doesn't really surprise me because Michael B. Jordan, always talking about anime and how big of a fan he is.
Yeah.
And I think he said multiple times that there was like he took cues
Major
and stuff
influence.
from different shows and influence to put in the movie. He also wants to make like a Creed anime as well, which I think would be really cool. So I thought he pulled it off really well. I thought he did just a great job in general of directing the movie for first time out.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I really think that for a first-time director, people aren't really, talking about it as much as I'd hope they would. But I think, like you said, it really, at every opportunity, I think he did a great job. Where there's some things that were like, he's a first-time director, maybe. But, like, it was fantastic. I mean, one of the things that I really loved, just a small thing, was Adonis is really going through a lot of emotional and just personal turmoil, and the movie, like, for literally like 20 seconds, because he's driving, it's right after this huge thing happens, and he's driving, and he's just like, the movie all of a sudden switches to this like weird camera angle of the car, and then he like slams on the brake, and the car, you kind of see it like shake forward, and then it cuts in, and he like drops his phone, and then his mom calls him, and it's just like, it just felt like this real moment, like in this movie, where I was like, man, I've been there, where it's just like, you're hitting the red light, then you've dropped your phone, somebody's calling you, after you're dealing with this thing that you're already thinking about, and I remember that stood out to me in the movie. I just, was like, wow, that's like a really like real moment, and Michael B. Jordan's acting in that scene was so real. I just felt like I was watching Adonis Creed, not an actor named Michael B. Jordan. And I thought that was really, really great. That's why I say I think it might be my favorite performance of his. But guys, let us know, have you seen Creed? If you haven't seen Creed, are you excited to? Why haven't you yet? Are you waiting maybe for Paramount Plus or streaming service? Let us know that and more in the comments down below. That has been some of our thoughts on Creed 3. So next up, let's talk about the Oscars here. And
let's talk about Last of Us.
I'll tell you this, because I want to do something different for the Oscars, which is just how did you feel about them?
Okay,
that's all I want to know.
That's okay. I thought it was great. I thought the opening monologue really hit from Jimmy Kimmel. All his jokes I thought were really good. A lot of jokes, the whole kind of, you're gonna have to deal with. I'm trying to think.
Spider-Man and the Mandalorian.
Spider-Man and
Michelle
Andrew Garfield's face. I thought it was funny.
And the
not the real
man.
donkey from what was that movie?
Banshees of Inisherin was not really Jenny.
Not the real donkey, unfortunately.
I was so devastated.
The whole the hubba bubba like Scientologist.
Oh, that was fantastic. L. Ron hubba. It's like, that was great.
So I thought that all went well. I thought we didn't have any. I liked the Chris Rock, Will Smith jokes. It's funny too because I'm sure if Will Smith was watching at home, he was probably laughing. And Chris Rock, if he was watching, he was probably mad. It's kind
of. And
I
liked that his first joke about it was aimed at the audience. It wasn't at either of them. He was just like, do what you all did last year. Absolutely nothing. You just sat there and just let it happen. He was just, and they were all just like, we kind of did.
I liked that we went back to, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago when they weren't showing the clips of the movies. Wasn't that a thing? Or maybe it was the performances. I think we went back.
I do have thoughts on the clips.
We went back to that, which I was happy about. And all the awards went, good. I was surprised that All Quiet on the Western Front was, I thought it was sweeping everything for a minute there, at least all technical. And Everything Everywhere All at Once, no surprise, Best Picture. I think the only shock was Jamie Lee Curtis. I didn't expect her to win. I thought Angela Bassett, it just seemed like everything was going Angela Bassett's way, and then she obviously didn't win. And I don't, would you call it, would you call it a legacy Oscar?
I think it's definitely OMG, they really dropped the ball on the in memoriam. Oh, you talk about the in memoriam in a second.
Yeah.
I think it's tough. I think she was great in Everything Everywhere. I think she was fantastic in Everything Everywhere. And I think to downplay it as she's just the weird IRS lady. She is the weird IRS lady for like 3/4 of her appearance. But for that last quarter of both the hot dog fingers version, which is very emotional, and then just the kind of new timeline version of her where she forgives, spoilers for this movie, where she forgives them and everything. She's doing great work in that. But also, yes, I think it is a legacy Oscar because I think she was fantastic in the role. But, I think it's fair to say they have the opportunity to recognize this institution of a woman, of an actress, who has just been working her ass off for, 40 years. And the voters thought to take it. They wanted to give her the shout out, give her the bone,
Yeah. I do have two gripes. I have two gripes.
Let's hear them.
I guess the in memoriam would be one. I don't understand. I get obviously a lot of people pass away every single year. And, they're like, oh, we're on a schedule. We can't put everybody in. I mean, you can, but you just choose not to
get it dedicated.
The lead actress of Triangle of Sadness wasn't even in there.
Yeah.
She passed away in August, I think.
Yeah.
Which I was shocked because I didn't even know. Like, I think I'd watched a few days before, and I was looking at what else she'd done. I didn't realize she'd passed away.
Yeah, neither did
I. And I was like, oh, was she in there? Nope, not in there. There's some other people not in there.
Like Leslie Jordan wasn't in there. Let's see, Tom Sizemore, who just passed away this week, or last week, wasn't in there.
I think that's
maybe some stuff.
Like, I think he'll be like in the next year's, I guess, because I'd imagine it was already made.
Yeah.
But
it's just like, I don't know. I feel like there was like some big ones too, but just the fact that there are that many. I remember somebody posted on Twitter like a grid of all the people they forgot, and it was like a grid. It was like a 4x4 of like at least 16 names that they just completely left off. Which is kind of like you said. It's like, it's not that you don't have the time, it's that you don't want to dedicate the time to that. But I will say, I don't know about you, I thought Travolta coming out, our personal friend John Travolta, was emotional. I thought that was great.
No, I agree. Yeah,
and I think that's. Oh yeah, go for it.
Hey, you can continue.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think that's just the overall vibe of the show.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I think they have the new CEO in place, and I'm not saying this is some, oh my god, automatic turnaround for the entire Academy. Not the Academy. They still have to deal with their systemic issues of nominations and rules and everything like that. But in terms of the telecast, I think bringing in that new CEO, they brought in new show producers after everything that's been going on the last few years. I wasn't in the room, but I can't imagine the conversation went much different than, we are going to do an Oscars telecast. We are going to have the host come out and do a 10-minute monologue, and then we're going to have the host come out and introduce presenters, and presenters present the awards, and everyone's sitting in a nice auditorium, and the stage is this big, nice open space with, I thought the stage was incredible this year, by the way, those little marquee things. So then when someone won, their name was in big lights. Like that was great.
How about that little back, that kind of thing when they did editing, when they had like the person kind of
behind them. I liked
on
that.
the old projector, and then the other person on the computer.
What was the other one? Cool. Oh yeah, that's the cinematography bit with Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors, who we just talked about. That was so cool, talking about that shot in Malcolm X and then actually recreating the shot like with the camera at the Oscars. I thought that was really cool. I think they did a lot of cool stuff, and I think the most important thing, yes, there were, I think, a handful of technical awards that did get played off, which is never good.
Okay, that was my gripe. This is my gripe.
Because it's my gripe as well.
Okay, so many people come up to accept the award. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 1. You need to let all of them give their little spiel.
Yeah.
Because and it was all technical. That's what it was. Because obviously, actor, that's a single person.
Yeah.
But, and even editing was single. But you talk about sound or what's another one?
Like set design, costume
set design,
hair
costume
and
design. Let them say say something. There was, I forget what the one was, where the one person spoke. They could not even spoke for like a minute, and the other person was getting ready to speak, and she said one word, and they cut her mic.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, let her you have to let them give their what they have to say.
I think that was Avatar.
Yeah,
I just remember the category. I think it was because
Michelle Yeoh had like a reaction.
Talk?
She was like so sad because, and it just sucks because this is a really big moment in their lives, maybe one of the biggest, maybe the biggest, and they just don't even get their chance, and it really sucks.
To build on that, my absolute biggest gripe with this show, to the point where my blood was almost boiling, after thinking about it, was you cannot use the Oscars to bring 2 people out and say, isn't Disney such a great company? We have the new trailer for The Little Mermaid to show you guys. Buy your tickets now. That just felt icky to me. That was you're an ABC show on a Disney network.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all.
I saw that tweet. I saw a tweet related to that, about that. But I saw a tweet from Roka that was talking about, in fairness to that, when there's a Super Bowl or any other thing Fox is, ads for their shows all the time. So it's I don't really know if you can criticize them for that because it's their own network. They're going to promote stuff.
Well, yes, but I feel the Oscars and the Super Bowl are 2 extremely different things.
I mean, that's fair.
Should be 2 extremely different things.
Yeah.
And I Dan Murrell said this in his Oscars video. He was there is a difference between and welcome from the new movie, so blah blah blah, so and so and so and so.
Right.
Then actually coming out saying straight to camera, because that's the difference. It being in a commercial break is different than if they're doing it on the stage. That means that time is eating into playing people off.
So you didn't showing the trailer during when they go, and now here's a trailer from, and then they show it on the screen on the stage. You didn't like that? I
didn't. I just didn't like that it was promoting a movie. I am 100% sure that I'm remembering this correctly. The Disney 100th anniversary thing, that was a commercial. That was not.
There was a few. There was a Warner Brothers one.
No, but that's what I'm going to talk about in a second, because the Disney one was a commercial. Mm-hmm. The Warner Brothers one was Morgan Freeman and Margot Robbie coming out to play that video about Warner Brothers and then talk about Warner Brothers. That I had no issue with. Warner Brothers is an institution that's turning 100. You're there to celebrate filmmaking. That's what you're doing, is you're celebrating the studio and celebrating filmmaking. If Melissa McCarthy and, I'm going to say it right, Halle Bailey? Yes, that's what it is. If the 2 of them came out and introduced the Disney 100 commercial and said all these great things about Disney and everything, I would have had no problem with that, because you're celebrating the studio and its influence on movies, and both of them are super intrinsically tied to the Oscars and to the Academy. But when you're taking the time away...
They introduced the trailer, didn't they?
They introduced the movie trailer. You feel the difference there?
Fair enough. Would it have been better if it was just a regular commercial break?
Absolutely.
That's what I thought.
I wouldn't even have cared. I wouldn't even have noticed. I would have had no thoughts on it.
That is fair.
Yeah.
But in also fairness, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking of just all the, and I know you say again it's different, and it is different in a way. But I'm thinking of all these football games or anything I've watched. And I'm thinking of and it's obviously not as big as the Little Mermaid live action remake. But we have box. It's like, and tonight, right after this, you can catch Masked Singer right on this channel, right here, right after the game, right after the game. So it is they do that, and I do. But in fairness, like you said, they do try and say they want to cut the show down, but then they make it longer.
By promoting a movie.
Yeah, so
like,
fair enough,
And I feel like the Oscars is a place that, like, you shouldn't promote your movie at the Oscars because the Oscars are about movies, not any one movie. And I feel like that's just a super old fashioned like thing of just how I was brought up to think about stuff. Yeah, that's why that is it. Like it's not like I said, it's different from the Super Bowl because it's just they're just inherently different. But I don't know, maybe in the future, maybe a way to get more people to watch is to make the commercial breaks even more like the Super Bowl, which, if that becomes the new normal, I'm just going to have to, shut up and understand that. But I just didn't like them like you worded it, taking the showtime to do that. But anyways, those were my only gripes. Other than that, I thought terrific return to formula that was desperately needed. And I'm waiting to hear the numbers on how many people watched it, because I hope more people did, because it's a lot better this year than it's been in years past. Let us know what you thought of the Oscars. Did you like
sorry, real quick. Not yet. Brendan Fraser, great speech.
Of course.
Thoroughly deserved. Made me tear up watching him walk up there. And I wouldn't consider myself the biggest Brendan Fraser fan, but from everything he's been through, a really
win for humanity.
Yeah. And then Ki-Hu Kwan. He just seems like the best person in the world. Like, I was again getting emotional watching him get up there. And I've only seen him in Everything Everywhere All at Once and Temple of Doom, and the Goonies. Yeah. But seeing him win that Oscar, and his speech was great, and then his moment with Harrison Ford was just that was awesome.
it was so great.
Yeah, that was probably the best moment of the night for me.
Yeah, that, and then too, I also feel like, even though it was 18.7 million watched the Oscars. I believe last year was 15 million, so that's good. Because I think it's the big number they always throw out is that in 2009, the number was like 43 million, and then in 2019 or 2015, the number was like half that. Like, it was something like way down.
And again, I think that has to do when it helps when there is a general movie that a lot of people, the majority of people, get behind. 2019, I guess that you could say that was Parasite.
Yep.
Maybe last year would have been Coda, I guess. And this year is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Again, last year didn't really. I guess I didn't show it. It didn't really show it. But if you're looking at 2020, obviously looking at Nomadland won, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a movie that everybody was like, oh, Nomadland, getting behind that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. That's good that they're increasing the ratings, because I feel like it was kind of this thing where it's like, oh, we're gonna move to YouTube, or are we gonna just stop televising altogether?
Yeah, Chapek was, when he was in there, he was like, sell it.
Yeah, you saw Iger.
There was
Iger in the audience there.
Oh, I saw the several shots of Iger. That, no surprises on that. That literally like 5 times throughout the night they cut to Iger. Like, Zazoff was there, everybody, any other executive was there, but yeah, I thought it was really, really great, and I thought Jamie Lee Curtis's speech was fantastic too. Just really emotional. It's crazy that her mom, her dad, and her have been, working all these years, and the two of them were nominated, but none of them ever won any of it, and then she won the Oscar. Like, that was just a great moment. Yeah, I think that's, and Navalny winning the best documentary. I would have personally liked to see it go to actually, I would just say my favorite was The Fires of Love, but I mean, Navalny winning, obviously that's a W for humanity again. But a lot of just great, and I think at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, is when the Oscars let the moments be genuine and let the people talk and let us hear what they have to say, that's when it's really great. But yeah. So anything else before we wrap up on the old Academy Awards?
No, I think that was it. Oh,
yes.
Did you find? I found it weird that, because you know how they do that whole thing where it's like, oh, the last year's best supporting actress and actor like give the award to like. I feel like. I don't know. I feel like you should like, they should like make those people come. to like do that. I know what you mean. You know, because I was like, I forgot Jessica Chastain won it. You know, Halle Berry is great, obviously, but I was like,
yeah.
She didn't win. I was like, who won it last year?
Yeah.
I just my 2 cents, but
no, I get what you mean. Yeah, and I feel like that was an awkward situation too, because what do you do about Will Smith? Like,
yeah.
But I get what you mean. But I think those last three, like Boom Boom Boom, I think they handled them.
That didn't even occur to me that it would have been Will Smith.
Yeah.
I was thinking like Brad Pitt and.
Oh right, yeah. Man,
who was the actress that won?
No, last year was Jessica Chastain, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was Jessica Chastain. No, the best supporting actress.
Oh, best supporting actress was. Oh, was it Marlee Matlin for Coda? Or no? Wasn't
No, I don't think so.
No, what the hell? No, that's right. Troy Kotsur won. That's
right,
what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, Ariana DeBose, right. She presented earlier in the night. That's right. What did she present? Oh yeah, she presented Best Supporting Actor. So yeah, I think honestly, I think it was probably just Will Smith not being there just kind of threw everything out of whack.
Right.
But regardless, like I said, those last 3 awards, I was really bracing for. Well, last year I feel like they would have done a commercial in between each award, but I was really bracing for an award before Best Picture, but they just, when they came back to do Best Actor, they just went boom, 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 and just kept it going, which I thought was great. But
last thing.
No, you're good.
This got brought up because I think I was talking to Danielle, and we were talking about the whole Jamie Lee Curtis thing and whatever, and we're talking about the whole honorary Oscar. Do you think The Rock gets an honorary Oscar at any point?
No, I don't think so. Well, I mean,
I just feel like he's like too big. It's just he's too big, and maybe that has caught up to him with you know Black Adam and you know.
How'd you feel about The Rock at the Oscars? He was giving off a weird vibe.
Was
I he was just like
I haven't seen Jungle Cruise, but I thought him and Emily Blunt have good chemistry. So
see, I think they have good chemistry. I didn't think they had good chemistry in that moment. I was like, he was like cutting her off and like trying to do this weird like bit, and she was just kind of like I didn't really understand what was supposed to be happening, but and then he was like, animation is a medium, and then like one person clapped, and then he was like, that's right.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, all right, man. If they don't clap the first time, just talk through it. I was just a weird, like, I don't know. The Rock just felt off to me. But anyways, guys, let us know, what did you think of the Oscars? What did you think of Jimmy Kimmel? How the show ran? Everything like that. How'd you like the look of it? I know TJ and I talked about some stuff that we really loved about it. But, yeah, let us know what you thought about the Oscars and more down below. TJ, we got some peeps to talk about. And that is 2 people by the name of Joel Miller and Ellie Williams. It's over. The Last of Us has come to an end.
Yep.
Awaits us season 2 in some future time. But season 1 is all wrapped up. How did you feel? Did you feel satisfied by the ending? How have you felt about everything overall?
It's funny you say that, because I actually I just watched it, an hour and a half ago, and obviously I know what happens, and I, before I start watching, I go, I know I'm gonna get all emotional, like this is gonna be a big moment, and I didn't get all that emotional, and I don't know if it's because I knew what was happening or it's because they didn't I felt like they did build it enough, that whole relationship.
Yeah.
But then when we got to that moment, I don't know.
Do you think
I
it
didn't
felt
really feel
rushed?
it. Maybe, but so, and I think they've said that part 2 is going to be multiple seasons.
Yeah.
So I think that will. This was obviously kind of, or it seems maybe this was a test, and they've seen a part 2, and it seems like everybody's loved it. There's been some people that haven't really liked it that much, but I feel like maybe that would be a main critique, was that it was a tad rushed, considering it kind of seems to come out of nowhere. I don't remember how the game goes, how they get to the hospital and all that stuff. Okay. But in this episode, it's like, oh, they got. It's like, oh.
Can I ask you 2 questions as somebody who's familiar with everything?
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't ask that. No, I think I will. First question, not too spoilery. Okay. Where the show ends. So going back to Wyoming after the hospital, is that right where the first game ends? Did we cover the whole first game, or is there more to the first game that we have not gotten yet?
No, that's, from what I remember, that's the entirety of it.
That's it.
I mean, you would have gotten the DLC, but that was episode 7.
Yeah, they kind of did that beforehand.
No, that's basically it. The part 2, again, maybe it was just because I wasn't very good at the game, but part 2 seemed way longer than part 1.
Yeah. Well, that's the second question that I want to be very careful about.
Yeah.
So, I know something, and so I'm going to ask it in a way that you'll know what I'm talking about, but I want to just be very vague with it. Do you think that with them adding Bill and Frank episodes and doing that DLC, kind of in the middle of it and stuff, and kind of adding these extra scenes and stuff like that, do you think that it would be possible for them in the writing to keep the main cast of characters together for an entire other season?
I think so.
Or do you think that would be hard to do even if they stretched it?
Just thinking on how early in the game, things happen, I think it might be kind of difficult. You'd have to probably do a bunch of one-off episodes with different characters. And I think they will extend on... They will most definitely give you more of a background on the next characters that come into the story.
That's true, yeah, because there's all the new characters, true. I didn't even think about that.
And it's crazy, too, because I forgot there was even, that Bill one-off episode. And even that, they had 2 episodes that were one-offs, and it's still, they got to the end of the game.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. But, yeah, I don't see them... I don't think they're going to prolong it for just the sake of, prolonging it. Okay. I think... maybe it'll be a few episodes, but I think we probably get to that moment very quickly, or fairly quickly, and then we go, through the rest of the game. Which do they have they said anything about season 2 when they're shooting it, or what the deal is?
Pedro Pascal said to Justin Horowitz, he was like, we could start shooting this year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, he was like, we could start shooting this year. Because I think he literally asked him, I think it was that. It might have been some other interview, but it was in the press junket. He literally said straight up, he was like, do you think that you could be filming The Last of Us this year? And he thought about it for a second and was like, yeah, I think we could start filming it this year for sure. So that makes me feel good. So 2024? I don't know. Maybe we'll get House of the Dragon and The Last of Us in the same calendar year. Wow, we'd be truly blessed if that was the case.
What did you think? What did you think of the episode? Were you satisfied?
I was definitely satisfied. Definitely happy that I stopped where I was in the game just to get the emotional payoff from these characters and these actors and everything like that. Also, the opening. I thought was fantastic. The cold open with the flashback to Ellie's mother.
Yeah.
And that's another thing they could do for season 2 is just a ton more flashbacks because those have been so successful for them. And I think that on every
that is something not in the game, which you already know, obviously.
I could see like an entire episode that could just be like a Joel and Tess flashback. You know what I mean? Just like bring somebody back from season 1 that we haven't seen in a while, and you can just do that because we're already so invested in these characters. But anyways, yeah, this episode in particular, I thought it opened great with that cold open. And then even after the title card, we went back to that cold open and just continued the flashback for a little bit. But I, like you, I think I registered all the emotions and all the connections and all the, like, what it all meant and everything, but I didn't find myself getting, like, teary-eyed or, like, that extra level of emotional response to the episode that I was kind of hoping for. And I do wonder, things like why was this episode 36 minutes? Like, was it just something logistically that maybe, like maybe I should have known better of, if the game does end right there, maybe to have your big penultimate episode be David, maybe there really just isn't much story left to tell. Like, it's really just these few things that happen. But also I think that there were ways that they could have padded it out and some things that could have been dived deeper into. But
again, you have to remember, it's like a lot of what's filled in is gameplay. So
yeah, exactly, because
there's a few story beats, but to get to those story beats, we have to actually play the game, and obviously don't have that in the show. But yeah, I thought overall they did a good job with season 1. I thought, again, like I said, best video game adaptation by far, so far that we've ever gotten. Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with season 2. That is refreshing though, to see that it's going to be multiple seasons. Yeah. Part 2. Sorry. There was something I was going to say. Oh, the giraffe. So I didn't know. That was a moment a lot of people were waiting for because it's a really great part in the game. And I saw on Twitter that it was a real giraffe, but when I watched it, I thought it looked CG.
That's what everybody is. Everybody's like, and I mean that's totally fair. I thought it looked CG too. But I didn't think, and I don't know if you mean this, but just there was a lot of people online that were just like, what was up with the CGI on that giraffe? It was awful. And then Neil Druckmann just tweeted out, and it was just like a real giraffe on set.
Yeah. It looks CG for some reason.
I thought it looked CG, but I thought it looked like great CG. The only reason I thought it was CG was because I just thought it was CG. I was like, you're not going to get a real giraffe, but they did.
I think the backdrop of the city didn't help. I think that might have been what it was.
I think it's maybe more just a compositing thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because obviously it's a real giraffe, so you're not making anything. You're just plopping it into the scene. So yeah, I think that was probably it. If anything, maybe just like maybe it was just more of a green screen issue than a giraffe issue. But yeah, I thought that moment was fantastic. What else was I gonna say? Just the levels of Joel that Pedro is able to play in this is like kind of fantastic. You kind of we are in full spoiler territory. So after the events of last week, like their connection is so much stronger than it ever has been up to this point. And then now also we're joining them in this episode. Probably a month, maybe 2 months later. Like it's not winter anymore. They're wearing just a shirt, so it might even be like spring. Like it might even be like 2 or 3 months away from winter. But
real quick, big news. Season 3 premiere of Ted Lasso now available.
Already?
Yeah. Can't drop early, I guess.
Oh crap! All right, I guess we'll be watching that after. Look at that. But what was I just saying? Oh yeah, the different levels of Joel. So like just the fact that when it opens, they're so much closer than they have been. He's joking with her. He's smiling like all the time. He's and also she is kind of flipped too, because she is clearly just super detached and kind of, not not herself, basically. And so he's, not only are they super connected now, but he's doing extra work to try and cheer her up. And it was just so refreshing to see that side of Joel, and to see Pedro get to play that side of Joel. And then obviously later in the episode, flip the switch, swing all the way back to just dead in the eyes, absolute brutal, killer, which was just crazy to see that happen. Obviously, you already knew that was going to happen. But just to see that happen, I was losing my mind. I was on the edge of my seat. I
did like the I don't know if you saw it on Twitter. Somebody had tweeted like that's not how I remember the game, and it's somebody like playing with Joel, but he has like a flamethrower and he's fucking
all those
dudes on fire.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny.
And then he just, like I said, we are firmly in spoilers, when he just ices that doctor, and he's just like, I won't let you take her. But yeah, I don't know, I just loved it. I mean, I'd ask you how you felt about it, but like you kind of knew some of the stuff that was already coming. But how did it play for you? Seeing it with these two actors that have now kind of grown to inhabit these roles. Was it like different for you this time, or what do you think?
No, I mean, yeah, like I said, I don't know what it is, but I had felt that relationship building, and I felt like they really were great at embodying those characters from the game. But when that turn takes with Joel, and obviously Pedro Pascal does a great job, but
yeah,
I just didn't get that weight that I don't know, that I thought I was going to feel. And again, maybe it's just because I guess maybe it was rushed and I just didn't realize it at the time. Mm-hmm. I'm sure, as the show goes on, I'll probably, feel a different way, I'd imagine. But yeah, I thought they did a great job. I thought that last conversation was really well done.
Absolutely.
Kind of just like, okay, like I know in the back of my head you're not telling me the truth, but fine.
Yeah.
And I'll be, and I really never thought, I think it's probably like a little, so it's a scale with Joel, because at one hand you kind of, you feel bad for him. He wants to protect Ellie. Ellie in his mind now is his daughter, and he wants to protect her and be there for her. But at the same time, it's kind of like he's selfish.
Yeah.
And I struggle with that, because I really like him as a character, but at the same time, like, humanity.
Yeah, like certain things that happen in the second game, I was like, really? That's going to be really tough. Now I'm like, I'm more conflicted, because just finding out whatever it is that, Joel or Ellie do in the second game, it's like this episode, what happens just kind of threw a monkey wrench in it, because now it's like the dynamic has shifted. She has reason to doubt him, which she didn't have before, like in the middle of this episode. And that's the real, kind of shit of it, is she was like, I will follow you to the ends of the earth. I will follow you anywhere. You mean that much to me, and I believe in you, and I trust you that much. And he was super moved by that and everything. But you have to let me do this thing that I need to do. Not just for everyone else, but I need to do it for myself, to know that I have worth, that something I'm doing has value, and more importantly, everything that has happened to us and everything that we've done has value.
Wasn't worth nothing. Yeah.
And you go from that to, like you said, is it selfish? Is it saving her? Both. To, yes, she said all those things, and she wanted to, she was like, we have to see this through, but she didn't know to the extent. She didn't consent to dying. Marlene literally said they were going to hook her up and then, just not tell her, and she would feel no pain, and they would just kill her and then do what they needed to do. Like, that's like, I don't know. And from Joel's perspective, it's like, yes, she wanted to help at all costs, but at the cost of her life. Like,
and what if it doesn't work?
And what if it doesn't work? And like, I don't think that Joel could live with himself if it didn't work. But then again, also, that's where it puts us in such a predicament as fans, is you go, Joel couldn't live with himself if it didn't work, but Joel just made the decision that his happiness, because his selfish happiness is worth more than the lives of everyone in that entire building.
Right.
He made that decision, not us. And it's like that, and then they just leave you with that feeling, and you're just like, oh my God. And like you said, it all comes to that final, I swear. Okay, and like you said, I know you're lying to me, but I'm just going to have to take it because there's really nothing I can say and nothing that you're going to tell me right now, but I know that information. I know it, but because of how I feel about you, because of how much I care about you, I'm just going to kind of let it slide. Or maybe not. I genuinely do not know. But Michelle in chat, she said real quick, I felt satisfied because of their last dialogue and the promise he was telling the truth. I don't think you can do anything else after that. I agree with that too. It'd be weird if then they did that and then they were like, hey Tommy, and then it ended. Like I feel that season 2 will be her finding out at some point that he lied. She says, although I feel at some level she already knows. And that she will leave again and he will have to find her again. And then she also said, I thought having Ashley Johnson play her mother was genius. Yeah, I thought that was fantastic. How did you feel about that, seeing Ashley Johnson, and now we got kind of all of the main characters from the game in the show in some capacity now, but specifically playing
character from part 2 in the operating room, by the way, voice actor for the game for part 2.
Really? Yes. Oh, awesome. Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. That was probably what I felt the most. I thought that was a really dark scene.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was an infected chasing her, or there was any infected. Speaking of, again, not a spoiler, there is a house in the second game that is featured a few times. That house that she runs into is kind of the mirror image, I guess, of the house from the part 2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not really like a, kind of like a
Easter egg.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, not like a big part of the story, I guess, or anything, but just kind of cool to see. But no, yeah, I thought that whole scene was really dark and sad. Marlene tells the soldier to cover the baby's ears, doesn't do it.
Yeah, I was like, damn. All right.
I was like, bruh, come on.
Yeah. That was rough.
And when she said no, she said, just kill me. And Marlene was like, nope, can't do it. I was like, I mean, you can't just leave her to just turn like that. Like,
yeah, that's
surely you have to kill her.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was really well done and really dark and sad, but performed brilliantly.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I thought I really did think that the episode, I think it did satisfy me. I think maybe just I wanted a little more emotionally. And maybe that's too just, I feel like just not ready for it to be over type of thing. But yeah.
Last thing I'll say, just going into next season, part 2, all that stuff.
Right.
One, I'll be interested to see what you think of the game, because part 1, I say you universally loved. Part 2, not so much. A lot of haters, I'd say, on part 2.
Would you say that the part 2 hate is just because of that?
I'd say it's a little bit of that. I'd say it's probably a little bit of the gameplay on who we're playing as, that type of stuff, and that's kind of the point. That's the point of, to put you in this predicament, But so I'll be interested to see if people drop off with season 2, because they've said we're not changing anything in the next few seasons because people didn't like part 2. It's I've always been in the camp where it's like they're telling me a story, so I'm gonna just gonna go with what they're telling me. Yeah. But I'll be interested to see what you think if you get through part 2, which you most definitely will. If you try, you'll get through it
by the time the next season's come out. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I knew what you meant, but I'm glad that I don't. But I will definitely play through that probably sooner rather than later. But I know it is a longer game than the first one, so if Jedi Survivor comes creeping up behind it, it might have to get put on the back burner until summer maybe. But I love the episode. TJ liked it as well, but we did feel like it was maybe missing a couple things, some emotional element. or I guess more of an emotional punch. It felt like it was maybe missing. But guys,
I think
let
it's
us know
just
what you thought.
I think it's just the length factor. That's it was just maybe just not long enough. I guess that we were with these two.
It was really like it was just and I think that's a good way to put it. I think that's a good way to put it. But guys, let us know, what did you think of the episode of The Last of Us, the finale here. Let us know what you thought down below in the comments. Did you like the episode? Did you like how it wrapped up the season? Did you feel a little unsatisfied or a little longing for more, I guess, or something like that? Let us know that and more down below. While you're down there, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and share the video with any Last of Us fans that you know, any fans of movies, movie news, movie reviews, anything like that. Also TV stuff, obviously. But yeah, I guess shorter show for us here, TJ. But I'm glad we got to talk about Creed finally. We got. Are you seeing Shazam?
I'm gonna see it. I don't know if I'm gonna like it.
Yeah,
but I'm seeing it.
Do you think? Are you gonna see it before next week?
Huh?
Are you gonna see it before next week? Do you think?
Yeah, I was planning on going this weekend.
Wow. Is it bad to say that I wasn't? I mean, I'm going to see it, but I wasn't like.
I won't see it next week because I'm going to see John Wick next. Not
Oh yeah, 100%. That's not even a question.
Right. I do want to watch the first one, and I know there's I don't maybe I don't want to say it because I got maybe anybody who hasn't seen it on Twitter, that there's a certain Snyder character that shows up. I guess of that.
The one from the trailer leak or a deeper thing?
I don't know if it was a leak. Was it a leak?
Well, not the leak, but it was like a TV spot that just gave away something big.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You know, so that's not exciting. That I really care all that much, but I'm interested to see what happens, I guess. Just because again, it's not really going anywhere. So
yeah.
What are we doing? I'm hoping for a Dwayne Johnson cameo. I think that'd be cool. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I think it'd be cool.
Right, there you go. There he is. Yeah. Teth Adam. I thought that I thought the first one was good. I'm excited for the second one, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not excited for the second one. But we'll let you know all of our thoughts on Shazam 2 next week. Mando review probably later in the week. Episode 3 coming out tonight. Also Bad Batch. I'll have my quick review, initial thoughts for Mando and the Bad Batch up by tomorrow morning.
I don't know what we're gonna do about Ted Lasso. I don't know if we're doing like a.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can just like talk about that on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but we got a lot of stuff coming up. Ted Lasso's coming up. TJ and I are probably going to be in some capacity talking about that together. Mandalorian, you'll always get my my quick reactions on Wednesday mornings. Also Bad Batch until that's over, which we have, I think, 3 more weeks. But it's heating up, man. Bad Batch has got 2 absolute like peak Star Wars episodes in a row. So I don't know which one I'm more excited for, because they both kind of ended on major cliffhangers that I really want the answers to. But we will be talking about those as well coming up on the channel. But guys, let us know anything else that you want us to talk about. Do you want us to talk about Love Island? Not really. But let us know, what you guys want to see and everything like that. And we would love it if you could give us a subscribe there. We did hit last week the big 500 threshold, and I'm happy to say we have not seen a dip below that like we have in the past for milestones. So that is very, very cool. And again, I'm still going to be trying to do trailer reactions more and more, but really since the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the only new trailer that's really come out is that Little Mermaid one, and I already saw it. So I'm not going to do one for that, but anything coming up soon. We just got a Mission Impossible trailer, or a Mission Impossible poster today, so maybe a trailer is not far behind. So keep an eye out for that and everything as well. But until then, guys, I've already told you what I want you to do. My name is Sean Monk, and I've been one of your co-hosts this evening.
I've been your other host, TJ Cornwell. Thank you for watching. Check out other videos on the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on all our social media channels for news, reactions, reviews, etc. And we will see you next time.
Boom.